We are now in the age of AI, and AI is coming. It's coming for loads of professions. It's coming to automate lots of tasks. And there are some professions that we think are safer than others, some that are inherently more difficult to replicate because they are intrinsically more human, more emotion based. And we don't believe that a machine or an AI could take over in that realm. Now, sales is one of those areas that we might think falls into that category. I myself have an experience in sales. If we look at all kinds of roles like AE, account manager, we can see that humans are part of that process. We're an intrinsic part of the process, especially in terms of leading the process, in terms of explaining how things work and building rapport. But there is one unavoidable truth in sales that no matter how interesting the product, whether it's deep tech or something else, or no matter how interesting the client company, no matter how interesting the space, after a while, sales becomes repetitive. Human beings, we like novelty, we like excitement, we like that dopamine hit, we like something new and to learn. But after you've explained something 10, 20, 30 times, heard the same objections 50, 100 times, that pattern recognition, there is no joy in that anymore because you know you've exhausted it all. You've said everything 100 times, you've heard everything 100 times. And that is a problem because even to you, that you're bored of it, every person that you talk to, that for them, they want an emotional experience. They want it to be fresh, to be interesting. They want you to take them through this interesting experience. And that can be difficult. They're feeling like that. You're like, I've said this 1,000 times already. There's a disconnect in the ability to generate that enthusiasm. So, acknowledging that, we have to ask ourselves, is there something out there that could potentially replace effectively a human with a piece of AI? And couldn't quite believe it, but in my research, there actually is. See my screen here. It's called Air.ai. Now, it's been in stealth mode for a while. Not exactly sure of the background. You could check it out on LinkedIn. But it seems to have been developed by some stealth mode advanced PhDs from some kind of high level university. And look, this is really ominous, and this is why I consider it as the Terminator of sales in a positive way. Look how they present themselves. So it's finally here. What they're saying is, who are they saying it's finally here to? They're saying, look, we finally created this thing that can act like a salesperson. 100,000 sales and customer service reps at the tap of a button. That means in the background, they've done huge amounts of training, machine learning on huge data sets. They've analyzed and recorded lots of calls and processed them out. Introducing the world's first ever AI that can have full on 10 to 40-minute long phone calls that sound like a real human. That's absolutely huge. 10 to 40 minutes is about the sort of length of an average sales call for most interactions in terms of the sales cycle. It's got infinite memory. That's great. A lot of people don't have infinite memory. A very small proportion of people are designed neurologically to have incredible working memories, which is actually a huge part of success in sales, and those people exceed. But most people don't have that, especially people that might have ADHD. That's well known to challenge your executive thinking and your recall. So there we go. And secondly, perfect recall. So anything that they could ask me about the company or the product as a human, there's a lot of things to remember. I might not remember all of them, even if I've gone through it 100 times. But this AI will remember it and recall it back to you all the time. It can autonomously take actions across 5,000 plus applications. So this is a game changer because people would argue, yes, but look, the salesperson's not just there to have the call, they're there to orchestrate the elements of onboarding, connect with all the systems. But that's what they're basically saying. They've done AI. They're saying that they've automated the entire process. So if the prospect then wants to come on board and have the sell and have the product, it'll automatically onboard them. Literally, it can do the entire job of a full-time agent without having to be trained, managed, or motivated. It just works 24/7, 365. Look, and already 70,000 plus businesses have registered their interest. What I want to do now is I'm going to play you through the whole demo so you can see it for yourself. The voice you'll hear from the rep is a AI generated sales agent. Now, whether or not they're talking to a real prospect or a trained actor, I kind of think is irrelevant. It's about that interaction capability. Then at the end, we're going to play it through again. I'm going to pause as I go through to give my comments, given my knowledge and experience of sales, of how close this is to an optimum sales call. Okay, Let's go for it.
Hey, James.
I'm not interested, man.
Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too. But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page.
Dude, I don't
I was
have time for
curious,
this
what
right
had
now.
you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go?
Fine, shoot. What's up?
Why did you, why did you decide not to pre-order the Vision Pros? I saw you changed your mind last minute.
Because they are crazy expensive. I'm gonna get the Meta Quest instead.
I get it. But you saw what happened to Threads, right? Do you think the Meta Quest will end up being a better product than the Vision Pros? Or is it just the price?
I mean, it's mainly about price. I'm sure the Vision Pros are gonna be better, but I'm not spending $3,000 on a pair of goggles, my man.
I feel that for sure. Definitely want you to make the best decision for you. But can I offer a different perspective?
I guess so. What's up?
Okay, so something that not a lot of people are aware of. If you take the route of using financing, Vision Pros only come out to a few $100s a month. So although $3,000 sounds like a lot, we can break it up to be more affordable for you. Does that by chance sound more palatable?
Interesting. How would that work?
Yeah, totally. Happy to give you context. Basically, you just fill out your details real fast and can see if you get approved. And if you are approved, it's much more affordable for you.
Okay. So what do we got to do for that?
Awesome. Okay, I'll send it over now. Let me know when you receive it.
Okay, I just got a text. That was quick.
Okay, sweet. Just fill that form out. Like I said, it takes 45 seconds. And once you are done, you'll have your name down for a pre-order of the Vision Pros. Can I help you with anything else?
No, that's awesome. I appreciate it, actually.
Perfect. I'm pumped. We got you on the good side, huh? By the way, who do you got in the Musk versus Zuckerberg fight?
I think Musk. He's got the size difference.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just glad that Tim Cook is not involved. But hey, I know you said you didn't have much time, so I will let you get back to it. Thanks for chatting.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
And there it is. That was the demo. That was all an AI virtual sales agent. It was explaining all of the thinking, took them through the process, and at the end, we even had that bit of interaction through the text messaging, one of those automations. So what I'm going to do now is go through the call, give my opinion, then at the end, let's see what legs does this have. So let's go through it.
Hey, James.
Very nice, very clear opener. Hey James, nice, bright and friendly, just the right amount of enthusiastic tone, but like not over the top.
I'm not interested, man.
Boom, straight away, this guy comes in, says he's not interested. This sounds like he's pre-screened this call, he's expecting it, and he doesn't, or he's busy. He's not in the mood to be sold to or talked to at all. So the AI's got its work cut out.
Yeah, no worries.
Brilliant. What you do in that situation is you didn't say, oh, but this or but that. You don't fuel it. You just say, yes, and I understand, or yeah, no worries. You just acknowledge that as if it's not an issue at all, and you carry on.
I hate calls out of the blue too.
There's the empathy. I hate calls out of the blue too. You're empathizing, you're mirroring that energy, that state, and then you're on the same page, both the seller and the prospect.
But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw.
I'm actually from Apple, so it's not just some random person. I am from this reputable company that you've previously engaged with in some way. He's done his homework. He knows that the person he's speaking to has expressed some form of interest in the past.
You were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page.
Dude, I don't
I was
Amazing. So, what's probably happened is that one of these applications that AI has connected in lets the sales agent know when someone has gone on the website and partly filled in an intention to buy and when they haven't completed it. So if it can automate that intelligent feeding in that knowledge, the sales agent then comes pre-armed with that information for the call. So he's given it a credible real world event.
curious, what
right now.
had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that.
You see that? So he got interrupted again. So the prospect's still not on the same page. He's trying to shut down the conversation. The Air AI was going to launch into like its thing, but it adapted. It intelligently said, "Okay, I can respect that." It said it acknowledged the emotion, the empathy, the disengagement, and said, "Yeah, I get that." And it did it in a very natural way. It dealt with that interruption extremely quickly with very low latency, a very human response.
That. Can I just ask one question before you go?
Can I just ask you one question before you go? So it's this fair kind of, I'm going to let you off the hook. You're going to get what you want. You're going to be free to get on with your day. But human to human, can you just do the courtesy of me asking you something that might be helpful to you?
Uh,
I noticed the intonation, the tone. There was a bit of deference there. There was that little bit of, I know I'm kind of like bothering you a bit, but ultimately I want to help you.
Fine, shoot. What's up?
Prospect, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Right, you're a human, I'm a human. Let's talk.
Why did you, why did you decide not to pre-order the Vision Pros? I
Did you see that? It wasn't. Why did you? Well, it was this. It's introducing these natural human pauses and ums and ahs that people have in their speeches. So it's very organic. He's asked him a
saw
useful
you
question.
changed your mind last minute.
I saw you changed your mind last minute. That's very interesting. He's acknowledging the buyer's experience. Clearly, when the buyer decided not to complete the order, something put him off. Something changed his mind. Something distracted him. But there was no one there to acknowledge that or help him through it or help him see a perspective. So this is what a good salesperson is doing. He's giving the prospect a chance to air whatever it was that put them off at the last minute.
Because they are crazy expensive.
Boom. Now he feels comfortable enough to reveal the real objection, and it's the most common one that you'll get in any area or sector of sales, and it's crazy expensive. Fair enough. As we'll see in a second, they're not cheap.
I'm gonna get the MetaQuest instead.
Ooh, I'm gonna get the MetaQuest instead. So the prospect now feels comfortable enough to tell the Apple salesman, I thought they were too expensive. I'm planning to go with your competitor, the Meta Quest. So now the salesperson has a full viewpoint on where this person was going with their decision.
I get it. But you saw what happened to Threads, right?
Amazing, amazing, right? So they're playing that whole Mark Zuckerberg slightly subtle put down. They're saying, okay, you want to go and back through your purchasing, you want to go and back the MetaQuest instead. But look, when they tried to like start this whole Threads thing, that kind of didn't go very well, did it? So he's subtly undermining. So do you want to be with the winning company for technology, or do you want to be with the one that's kind of shown to make not great decisions in other areas in recent times?
Do you think the MetaQuest will end up being a better product than the Vision Pros?
Amazing. What a question. He's not telling the guy, he's not being presumptive. He's not telling him this is why the product's better, this is why it's better. He's engaging in a conversation and asking a very interesting question. He knows that this prospect is probably well informed, probably has researched everything, technical specs and everything, and made a decision. So by asking him, hey, but which product do you honestly just think is better, regardless of price? He's slowly getting him to reframe and reveal, regardless of price, which product he actually thinks is best.
Or is it just the price?
There we go. Or is it just the price? He's giving him that chance to just say, yeah, it's just the price. Or actually, no, there's also some product differences.
I mean, it's mainly about price. I'm sure the Vision Pros are gonna be better, but
See, it's mainly about the price, but it's not a total deal breaker. That's what he reveals in that thing. It's mainly about the price. But I'm sure that your product, the Vision Pro, is better. Key, it's huge. It's huge. By him revealing that and saying that, the salesperson can now actually get him to the point of what he wants, which is the product that he thinks is superior. In this example, that would be the Vision Pro.
I'm not spending $3,000 on a pair of goggles, my man.
$3,000 on a pair of goggles. So it's that framing in his mind. This product is, he's reducing it to a pair of goggles, but he's got the familiarity and that, my man talking about that stuff, it shows there's a rapport.
I feel that for sure. Definitely want you to make the best decision for you. But can I offer a different perspective?
I definitely want you to make the best decision, and I truly believe the prospect believes and trusts that this sales agent does want him to make the best decision for him because of the patience and the interest he's shown. And he's asking helpful questions.
I guess so. What's up?
Okay.
Can you tell the change in tone from the prospect very early in the conversation? Extremely dismissive, but that was very reflective. That was almost sort of a opening up, like a sure, okay, I guess so. What's up?
So something that not a lot of people are aware of. If you take the route of using financing, Vision Pros only come out to a few $100s a month. So although $3,000 sounds like a lot, we can break it up to be more affordable for you. Does that by chance sound more palatable?
So this is interesting. There's enough rapport now. The sales agent with the prospect, they feel they're at the point now where they're on the same page. It's about the price. So sales agent says, look, we can make this, we live in financing, we have things like Klarna. Nowadays you can split up payments. So he's giving him a solution to his pain point, which is that's too much for me to pay all in one go. Can you break it up? And actually, in my experience in sales, that does make a huge difference, offering this no interest, financing, breaking up the payments over long periods of time.
Cool.
One thing I would say is that the vocal intonation tone on that, does that sound more palatable? Sounded a bit weak, sounded a bit hesitant, sounded a bit unsure. I think at this point in the call, the sales agent would be more confident in that they are providing a solution. So say, does that sound more palatable? With that confidence, because it does.
Interesting. How would that work?
Yeah, totally.
Now that, I don't know what that is. That is obviously an artifact in the AI training, like a completely different voice. Yeah, totally. Like, where did that come from? I don't know if Air AI have left it in the demo because they want to show and be upfront that this is an AI agent. They don't want people to think they're talking to a real human. Or maybe leaving this in, shows the complexity that goes into building a solution like this, and it kind of builds their credibility almost.
Happy to give you context. Basically, you just fill out your details real fast and can see if you get approved.
Now, that to me is maybe a bit presumptuous because the prospects are saying, how can I move ahead and everything? And I feel like the sales bots maybe jumped the gun a little bit and saying, okay, well, I'm just going to send through some random form and then you can see if you get approved. I don't really know if the prospect's quite there yet in terms of willingness to fill in a form and take a formal next step. They were more just asking generally what would the next steps look like.
And if you are approved, it's much more affordable for you.
But then actually having listened to that, it's about the financing aspect, so it is helpful for the bot to be direct.
Okay. So what do we got to do for that?
Awesome. Okay, I'll send it over now. Let me know when you receive it.
Wow. So this is what we're talking about as autonomously taking actions across 5,000 plus applications. Clearly, now that we've seen this, it must be that this is a prospect that has been talked to before, or their data has been captured, semi-captured by that online ordering form. So the sales CRM has captured their name, their email address, their phone number. It knows those details already, and some kind of whether it's Zapier or API automation SMS has been created where the AI bot can just trigger that, send over the message to the financing link.
Okay, I just got a text. That was quick.
See that? Got that? That was quick. And that might not sound reasonable, actually. I've noticed in my experience again within the world of sales is that effectively onboarding and showing next steps in a very quick way in terms of tech enablement comes across really well. People really appreciate that. They think, wow, if you got that to me within 3 seconds of me asking, that means that you're going to be quick. I'm going to get this quick. I'm going to get my instant gratification. I'm going to get my product. There's minimal effort on my part for me to get what I want.
Okay, sweet. Just fill that form out. Like I said, it takes 45 seconds. And once you are done,
again, telling him it's barely any effort, just do it, 45 seconds. Otherwise, the guy might think, God, how long is this financing form going to take me? Like 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes? So that's that little bit of reassurance that will get them to engage and at least open the form.
you'll have your name down for a pre-order of the Vision Pros.
The Vision Pros, I'm not sure why it's Pros, it's a Vision Pro. Maybe he put himself down for multiple orders.
Can I help you with anything else?
No, that's awesome. I appreciate it.
You see that response again, whether it's an actor or it's a real call. Maybe it was a real call, and then Air AI got that person's permission to put that call on here. But that seems really reasonable to me that he would be kind of almost like in this kind of calm, like, oh wow, now I actually got the outcome that I wanted. Thanks for your help. It's almost like he's surprised himself.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm pumped. We got you on the good side, haha.
That little bit of that rapport, that positive emotional reinforcement after the sale is really important. It takes away that sort of sense of buyer's remorse where someone can go away afterwards and think, but did I really feel a connection to that person? Did I feel a good emotion? And then changing their mind. So this, I think, is really
By the
nice.
way, who do you got in the Musk versus Zuckerberg fight?
I mean, who do you got? Not the best use of grammar, but then again, this is a human. Not everyone's going to speak perfectly on every call, and some colloquial chat makes sense. Again, I love this. Probably this is something to do with one of the applications got an automation where the AI can pull contextual data from Twitter, from the internet, from news feeds, and it's worked out actually, given the person I'm talking to, they're quite likely to know. Everyone is up for this because it's crazy, right? Two tech billionaires like wanting to do MMA and actually having a fight. That's pretty interesting. So I think it's a really good play to ask this question.
I think Musk, he's got the size difference.
I personally disagree. I'm going to put that on Zook because he's actually done training and learned, MMA and BJJ. But there we go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just glad that Tim Cook is not involved. But hey, I know you said you didn't have much time.
There, brilliant. I know you say you didn't have much time, so in a way, he's taken up maybe 5-6 minutes of the time, being very effective. This virtual sales agent, but he's acknowledged that where the other guy was at the start of the call, he's shown that empathy, he's shown that personal consideration, and it's really
So I will
important.
let you get back to it. Thanks for chatting.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
And there it is, Air AI. I think
Hey,
it's pretty
James.
incredible.
Um,
When I looked at this demo about 6 months ago, it was a much earlier stage in terms of the conversational ability, the responses. This seems like it's exponentially improving all the time in terms of how they're building out this agent. So it's incredible. What are my thoughts? Yeah, I think it is like something out of a James Cameron Terminator film. I think if you're a CEO, you're a head of growth of a small SME, you've got a limited budget growing. What are you going to do once this gets perfect? Once it's trained on your own data, trained on your best sales agents' calls, it will never get tired. It will, to quote the Terminator, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't eat, and it absolutely will not stop until you are sold, right? I think that's going to be very appealing to small business owners who are trying to save costs. Being able to do calls 24/7 at scale, being able to do different demographics of sales agents with different voices and personas based on the person it's talking to, never getting tired, having perfect repetition and replicability throughout the process is super important. So I think this is going to be a game changer. Some people argue and say, no, people want to see someone's face on the camera. They want to know they're talking to a real person. Well, I'm not sure about that. I think there's a lot of introverts, a lot of people that would rather just listen to someone's voice. I think as long as the sales agent answers all the questions that you have, gets you through the process in an efficient way, is honest, then frankly, I don't see the downside of doing almost a self-service sale. Self-service sale as a service, I would call this, rather than talking to an actual salesperson. And look, if they did want one of those avatars, well, you can just use something like synesthesia to generate yourself an AI sales video avatar. So that's been my evaluation here. I'd love to hear everyone's comments at the bottom of this video. If you decide to sign up for the beta along with 70,000 businesses and use it, I'd love to hear your experience below. Let me know. Do you think this is the Terminator of the sales profession? Look forward to hearing your thoughts.